So, over the last few weeks, we've been talking on how to give a presentation, how to speak, how to move, what to talk about, how to use your visuals. Well, today, I'm just going to give a short little rundown on how not to give a presentation, on how you shouldn't be presenting. We'll talk about some key things that make a presentation, well, bad. What makes a bad presentation? Well, for starters, ineffective visuals. If you look here, I've got a bunch of people that look like they're flying through the sky. What does that have to do with visualization, with visuals? Apologies, another thing we'll be talking about. What does that have to do? What does this visual have anything to do with presentation? With what makes a bad presentation? A good presentation? Nothing. Wouldn't it make more sense to have like a microphone, because often you're doing public speaking? That would make a lot more sense. And the little joke I've had here is overcrowding text. Now, for your presentation, you will be using PowerPoint as a visual aid in order to give your presentation on the book The Metamorphosis. But there's a very strong rule that you should be using when you give a presentation. The rule of 6. There should only be 6 things on your PowerPoint slide at all times. I have broken that rule to illustrate this. So title, that's one. Image, that's another. And then you've got basically 4 dot points. We don't want big paragraphs, because if you just write down what you say, I could just read the PowerPoint. I don't even need you to talk. I could just read the PowerPoint. Then we go showing a lack of dynamism, which essentially not moving around, not being dynamic, not enunciating your words, not giving eye contact, then panning away, then looking back, basically staying still and looking down and being like, yep, so this is how you give a bad presentation. That's showing a lack of dynamism. Again, avoiding eye contact. You don't feel very personal if I'm looking over here talking to you, but if I'm looking right here, looking right at your eyeballs, you feel like I'm talking to you, which is what we want. And we've got ignoring your audience. Public speaking is all about you and the audience. If you ignore the audience, you're ignoring like 50% of it. It's all about talking to the crowd, appealing to the crowd, like giving examples to the crowd. If you know you're presenting to me, because you will be trying to use what you know that I know and using that for your presentation. Maybe you have an anecdote. Anecdote is like a brief example. It doesn't really not based in reality, but it's real. But it hasn't happened. So an anecdote. If you're talking about the metamorphosis, maybe you could have an anecdote about chess, because you know I enjoy chess, or birds, or coffee, or reading, anything of that sort. Then we've got not being prepared, the bane of a presenter's existence. Before, I used the wrong word. Boom, not being prepared. Not having a book on hand, not being prepared. You should always be prepared. You don't need to have your speech written out word for word, but you should have a good idea of what you're going to be talking about. You shouldn't be like freeballing it, you know? So, like, Michael, I'm hearing you. But how do I get better? You've pointed out the mistakes, but how do I get better? Practice, my dude. Practice. But how do you practice? You're like, how can I practice public speaking without public speaking? It's simple. What I'm doing right now is a form of practicing public speaking. I'm not practicing the public part, but I'm practicing the speaking part, enunciating my words, getting my point across, and using my body to convey a point. Go up to your parents and say, hey, I just read The Metamorphosis and I want to tell you a little bit about it. And then just talk to them. Practice eye contact. Practice moving around. Practice getting your point across. And have the feeling of messing up your words. Because messing up your words, saying practice, a lot of people will immediately go, oh no, I've messed up. Oh no, whatever will I do? It's easy. You just go, oh, apologies. Practice. The ability to bounce back from it. And then you go to more and more. You get more and more uncomfortable. Practice with your parents, then your friends, then maybe a teacher, a relative you don't really talk to, someone who doesn't even read. Like, talking about this book to people who not only don't read, but have no idea what philosophy is or don't even care about it, that's a difficult task. So what are we doing? Well, you're going to watch my next presentation, which actually isn't a presentation. It's a 2-minute video that I've called Hurt My Presentation. You're going to write notes on what I did right and what I did wrong. It's mostly going to be wrong. Then you're going to tell me what you wrote and we're going to discuss it. Then I'm going to do the same for your homework because you would have filmed a video talking about the 10 minutes you watched. Then I'll assign homework on what we're going to do next week, because if we keep doing homework throughout the week where we just watch a little bit of the Metamorphosis instead of doing it during our lessons, it means we'll have more time to do cool stuff and actually get the activities done. Then, as a little brain break, we'll play some chess and then we'll discuss. And next week is going to be so much fun because we're actually learning about how to construct a PowerPoint, and then you, James, get to have some practice with it. But anyway, this concludes the PowerPoint presentation aspect. Now you're going to watch my video presentation. Then we're going to discuss. It's going to be awesome. Au revoir.